speed to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. So loud as the hours pass, we're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. The moonlights, summer sky, it was the best we ever had. And we'll stay on forever. We'll never have regrets. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. We're gonna be. We're gonna be two hearts running wild.
Hello. I hope you got audio, by the way, because I was kind of fiddling around with it. Good afternoon. It's Wednesday. And good afternoon, Hella. Good morning, Susan. And good morning, Rev. Congratulations, I should say. Not sure with what I probably might have missed it. I am sorry if that's the case. But hey, good afternoon. It's Wednesday and we are back at it. And my plan today is to wrap up some projects. I have at least two. Can we wrap them up fully? No, because I'm still missing to make buttons. But if I could finish the crochet bit, that would be nice. And the bucket hat. I didn't finish it this weekend. I thought I would. I didn't. Time. I did other things too. Did spend some time enjoying myself. We also have the Veilwyn Shawl. Should we have nothing else to do except for that? Ooh, you both won at Sharebox. I wonder from whom now. But congratulations. That's awesome. That is awesome. Oh, oh, oh. Have some tech things. Cool, you. Sharebox from Jan or somewhere else? All curiosity. Meanwhile, I'm not that far from finished on the bucket hat though. I missed to finish the current row plus a row of slip stitches, and then I need to weave in the last end. So technically it should be a quick finish, but I also know that it does take a while to do all these single crochets around because it is a little bit of a fiddly work to do. At least for me it is. So that is what we are starting with, and when we're done with that, I was thinking that we are gonna head into the rest bit of the waistcoat, at least the crochet bit, because I do need to crochet around the edges with a thicker thread. And yeah, it is likely still going to be too small to me once I'm done that, but we'll see. And then we'll see if I reach to do that, and if I do, as I said, we do have the Veilwyn Shawl that we can continue with. So I do have things for us to do today, and it would be pretty awesome if we could finish up at least the bucket hat and the crochet bit on the waistcoat. Good morning, Jessica. Oh, from Jan Diana. It's awesome. I love when people win things. I'd like to win some things myself. I mean, who wouldn't? That would be like the best excuse for a yarn haul without, like, you win it. It's not yarn budget, right? That would be my logic input here. So let's pop over here. Also today, even though, and it's really a weather today because I just had to pull in the thing that hangs over our terrace because it just rained, and now the sun shines again, and I'm like, I want it out because it's gonna be so warm in here when the sun shines. The door is open, but yet it is kind of like grayish weather, a bit weird weather. It's definitely not cold. It's like 25 degrees, but I'm back on tea. It's just a classic black dye tea, so nothing fancy there. Good. Let's get you guys down for the working bit. Oh, that was a bit too far. So that's the starting point. So as you can see, I ended up doing it a bit differently because originally I wanted to have it dark, medium, light. But when I was going to do that, then I noticed that the color differentiations here, because you would have to start with a different color. And then I was like, yeah, I'm not sure if that's actually going to look how I want it to look. And then I kind of chose the safe option because you first do the slip stitches in the end and not before, and then the other color. So I decided to play the safe route and went with what I knew. Maybe next time, I don't know, I'll do it differently. And honestly, I don't think it's so important. I think this still looks good. Like, this would be how it looks finished, right? That's still good. And I do have yarn left. I have removed it from my Ravelry stash because it's just like half skeins. Like, this is what I've left of the Savannah, which is the golden color. And I mean, here's probably enough to make like some sort of amigurumi. And I keep the label on it because that helps me keep track of it. Because I didn't completely use it, but I also don't feel it should be listed as a full skein on my Ravelry. That kind of just feels weird. And yes, hello to all the lurkers. Please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and share if you are lurking. Because even though that is helping me, of course, it's so much more fun when we all chatty. But yeah, as I said, I'm expecting definitely this one will finish today. That's not an issue. And then the question is, if I can, how much I can reach to finish off the waistcoat. But we'll have to see and how it goes. Meanwhile, here the weather is mostly cloudy with a temperature of 80 degrees Fahrenheit, 27 degrees Celsius. The wind is from west southwest at 15 miles per hour, and the humidity is 50, which has to do with it is definitely mostly cloudy, but with an occasional tiny few showers. I mean, it rained, but it rained for like 5 minutes, and it was like droplets. It wasn't like rain, as in my whole terrace was wet. It was like I could see a few drops had fallen and I could hear it rained, but you know, that was kind of it. And the reality is, we desperately need rain. And I mean, really need rain. It's dry. The rivers are insanely dry down here. I'm going to see if I can actually show you guys how it looks. Jessica is sewing in ends. Meanwhile, Susan says someone donated about 8 skeins of Lion Brand Moonlight mohair to my library group. I'm holding it with Premier Stitch Please Superwash Extra Fine Marine, making a sparkly knit hats for donation. Ooh, it's always nice to have donate yarn. It's not really, you know, donated yarn is neither, I would say, a part of how can I say that? It's not yarn budget either, right? Okay, let's see if I can actually get this one on. Maybe I can just add this. And then we will have to, oh, I forgot to name it. Well, whatever. We should be fine. That's not the most important. I'm going to show you guys a picture from Sunday evening. This, you can't really see him, but the way far out there, that's my partner actually. And my shadow. This is a riverbed of the Waal. Waal is a part of, well, basically it's the Rhine. If you would like, technically it depends on how you talk, it's the Waal, but the Waal is branching from the Rhine. But the Waal is so much bigger than the lower Rhine, which is basically the part of the Rhine that's in the Netherlands. And that's the riverbank. And I mean, it's still deep enough there in the middle. I would not want to cross it, and the stream is still pretty rapid. But I mean, yeah. Normally, where we're walking right there, that's full of water, right? So the water is low. We need rain, and it's not just here in the Netherlands, because that water, what's flowing in that river, that comes from the Alps and it goes all the way through Germany before it lands at our place. Europe needs rain. The rivers are low. That's pretty much the short version of it. It looks like you can walk across the river, but trust me, you would not want to walk across the river. There is still big boats sailing on it. Walking across that would cause you to be caught by the stream, and if you're lucky, you may get out of the water about 120 kilometers later at Rotterdam. And if that's going to be the case, you're likely also dead. It is not a place to swim or walk across, but I do agree it very much looks like you can walk across it. But it is a dangerous river. There are people, like, you can walk at the shore banks with the feet in the river, but I definitely would not personally want to say it's a clever thing to swim in. It is, I think it takes a life or two a year almost, on average. Probably not that bad, but I mean, some years are worse than others. But we occasionally hear how somebody fell into the water and did not get up, or they first found them so much later. So there's a fair bit of stream in that. I wonder, I think it's probably a too quick view. Let's see if this is gonna work. I am not sure, but I will try. No. This. And then we're just gonna do another random to see if this is actually gonna work. No, it's not wanting to show. That's a shame. Maybe it does if I flip over. Yeah, it does. Hey! Okay, this is a little video shortcut clip, and you can't really see the stream, but I mean, it's low. It's pretty low. That was definitely not the sleekest of ways. But yeah, we were talking about, so Sunday we were walking to my in-laws to give her plants some water because we had promised to do so. And then on the way home, my partner was talking about like, I actually wanted to go down to the river to see because it should be really low at the moment, and I kind of like to like have a look when it's low. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, maybe we should just do that tonight then, because I mean tomorrow's just gonna get warmer, so let's do it tonight. So we went down there Sunday evening, and had a nice beach walk, one could say, right? Riverbank walk, technically speaking. But we definitely could use some rain. It's dry, and honestly, it's a reality that we need rain, because that is also the reason for all the issues there is with fire in France and so on, right? There are wildfires. Even here in the Netherlands, we had a single, but it was put out luckily pretty quickly. There was a quick response, but we had a small one too. And I'm like, the forest wouldn't, like, we wouldn't have wildfires if we had more rain. That just tells everything how dry it is. There are boards everywhere with like, don't put up bonfires, or don't barbecue in the nature and stuff like that. Yeah, it's dry. It is dry. Does kind of match the colors though of the hat. So it's a bit fun. We did pick up a few souvenirs. I said to my partner, hey, that's what we missed from the summer vacation this year. Normally we would go to the beach and find a stone or a shell or something like that to bring back home. We have a glass jar in the window, and that contains shells and stones from numbers of vacations that we've been on over the years. And yeah, we just kind of stack up interesting things. And I did find a few. Let's see if I can actually reach them from where I am sitting. Yeah, just about. So that's just a classic one. That's, like, it's the glass that's been on a river from a bottle. It's not been shaped well enough yet, because like it has been made softer, but it's not like super soft. And I don't know. I just think glass pieces are fun. And then have this like black one, but look how the changes are in the stone. Oh, so I don't know why, but I just think it's kind of fun. It's picked up from the riverbank we walked on. Block, square, stone, and it looked not much nicer also when it was wet. And the same goes for the last one. It also has it has star markings, but again, it was much nicer when it was wet. Can I make it a little bit wet? Yeah, I could. A little bit of, like, it has the star marking up there. I'm not really sure where it's from, but it's a bit fun. So yeah, we tend to find fun stones. And my partner also found a stone. I wonder where that one is now. I thought I had put it there as well. He found a stone and it looked like it had a smiley face. But yeah, what you also sometimes can find in that river, by the way, is bricks. Bricks you used to build houses with. And the reason for this is that in the Netherlands, here across this river, there is a lot of brick makers. There's lots of places they make bricks. There is lots of clay around the river. In fact, maybe I should see if I can. If I pop back to the photo here, and if you look about where the end of my shadow ends, so somewhere between halfway me and halfway where the person stands, which is my partner, if you look there, you can see on the beach there's something that's kind of popping out of the shoreline. Like it lays across, right? That is clay. That is 100% clay. And it's not like it disappears, it just lays. It's clay. So that is clay, that bit. So the sand and the clay, and then, you know, these stone makers here, brick makers, they use the clay and they use the sand and they make lots of bricks. Lots and lots of bricks. But yeah, that was the clay. And it feels kind of weird to me that the clay just lays like that. But at the same time, I kind of understand. And then you kind of get to realize how dense clay can be, I guess. Meanwhile, Rev is back crocheting because he finished the bag he was working on. Not sure if the designer is a super tight crocheter or if this bag is meant to be the size of a beach bag, but it turned out big. Ooh, yeah, that is a good question. Let's see. Let's see. We need this one popping over. Speedway stitched back by Loops and Love crochet made with the classic cotton pool pantry ombre and aqua. I find it's quite funny how it pulled here. Like, I mean, the pooling here is really, really funny. But yeah, I agree. It looks a little bit more like a beach bag type, almost. So maybe. I guess that will be the challenge with me as well. I tend to have a tighter gauge. And I have a few things on my mind that I want to do this year. I've talked about it so many times, and this year I genuinely want to get on with this designing part that I wanted to do and get stuff done, because I keep talking about it, but it would be a really good year just to kick it off. I agree with Susan, it is quite nice. The yarn just did the pooling on its own. I did next to no color control, with the exception of cutting about 2 to 3 inches off the last skein I added. Yeah, okay. It's kind of cool when the color kind of pulls on its own. And sometimes color pooling is really nice, and sometimes I'm like, nah, not what I hoped. So I guess it's kind of depending on the situation, if that makes sense. And I think the color pooling also kind of depends on how long are there between the color changes in the yarn. Some will change very rapidly, so it's just 1 or 2 stitches, and others would give you multiple stitches. So that also very much depends on the yarn. I have some nice ice yarns upstairs that definitely will color pool. Or definitely will color pool is maybe a bit extreme set, but it will not be like a slow ombre fading colorway like most of the yarns I use for shawls, because it is a variegated yarn and the colors do come back and forth repeating. I like this one mostly because it made vertical stripes rather than blobs. Yeah, that's kind of cool, I agree. Technically, maybe vertical chevrons. Soon we just have a row of slip stitches left, and then we need to weave in some ends. Hallelujah. They do take a little bit longer, these single crochets, because I need to catch the single crochet row of 2 rows prior, because I did a slip stitch row just right after. And then here I should get, then we're about to start the slip stitches, but what I need to do, I need a short break, guys, because I need to use a toilet. I will be back in a few. Thank you for your patience meanwhile.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just 2 hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be 2 hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon. We lay awake in bed. The laugh so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. Godspeed to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon. We lay awake in bed. The laughs so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild. The moonlight, summer sky, it was the best we ever had. And we'll stay on forever. We'll never have regrets. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. We're gonna be, we're gonna.
So, I'm back with you guys. Thank you for the patience. I used up either 5 or 6 skeins of the cotton on the back. Okay. I've made some bags too, like some shopper type bags with one strap, and they usually take me like 5 skeins of this type of yarn. But Rev, I'm glad to hear you're back at crocheting again. So that's a good sign. Right now you're working on a corner-to-corner granny blanket, trying to get it done before Friday, as I'm planning on sending it off to Donna for Stony Brook with 5 others. Ah, another like donation drive. It's an ongoing one. Cool. Okay. I agree with Susan. Rev is a blanket machine. It's like you're spitting out a blanket a week, if not more. On average. I am not a blanket machine. I think I'd go crazy. I wouldn't even know what to do with all those blankets in any case. And I think the biggest challenge is the amount of work one needs to put into the blanket. Like, of course, I could donate them, but I mean, whew, it's a lot of work. I've donated once in the past, but a blanket like Fleur, which takes hundreds of hours to do, I would not want to just donate away. That is, yeah. It's laying all on my couch still. They have a limited time for one for the cancer center, but the rest of the hospital system also wants blankets. Oh, that's nice. Usually get a 40 by 40 done in a few days. That's what I mean. Like, and then you, of course, you also have your other projects in between. So on average, a good guesstimate is probably that you'll make somewhere between 50 and 70 blankets a year. Or could make. Of course, you also make some bigger and some smaller things, of course. Which is still crazy. Colors, yeah. Oh, Rev says, I would not be worried about finishing this one, but yesterday morning I was sleepwalking and I took a bit of a tumble. Woke up mid-fall just in time to try and brace and sprained my shoulder. Oof. That sounds no good. I luckily don't do sleepwalking. I have done in the past, but I have really not done for a long time. So that's positive. But I did a bit when I was a child. I do not recommend sleepwalking once down Yelp. I don't think it's a very safe occupation either. I mean, ouch. Monday, I went to the city because I had to pick up a gift for. So we are heading to a barbecue in 2.5 weeks time. Actually, it's barbecue season. I mean, in 1.5 weeks we have one, and in 2.5 weeks we have another one. And the last one of the two, on Saturday 22nd, we needed like a little gift to the hosts, and we weren't really sure what to get them, and we are kind of like running out of ideas. Like, oh, I could go to the city and I'll like break up some of those really nice good tea. And I got there. I biked there. I was really good and healthy and fitly, and I took my bicycle and I rode the bike all the way there. And it was 30 plus degrees, so it was also a warm experience, but it wasn't too bad as long as I was moving on the bike. Um, and you know what? The store was closed. Bummer. I did visit a few other stores just to check if they had some things I wanted or needed, and they didn't. I did find another store where I found some things for them, which is hopefully good. And then I also visited one of those budget yarn stores, so to say. And I was really like, oh, that yarn could make this so nice, and this could make it that so nice. And I was really inspired by lots of things. But I was a good girl. I did not buy yarn. But I definitely had a few where I was like, oh, I could definitely get this, or this would be great for that. But I didn't get any. And I didn't have that much time, so neither did I do any recording. I am sorry. I could have, I guess, if I knew I had more time for it, I could have brought you guys with me. But I'm more proud of the fact that I did not buy yarn. It was a good trip further than that. I was just annoyed over the fact that the store I really went to go to was closed. But I did get a few other things, so. I'm usually not that bad. I will wake up having sat on some point, but this time the body decided to go for a stroll and did not really manage to get out of the bed before gravity took hold. Oof. Rev, as we get older, everything gets like, we are less fit as we get older. It sucks, but it's true. I mean, I'm not going to admit it either. I don't want to admit it either, but the reality is just that I'm gotten older too. And oh my goodness. I meant we were shooting some prone in Denmark, which I haven't done for years, but it was like one of the events that I had decided to bring my boyfriend out doing. And crawling all the way down on the floor, I got this feeling of being so old. But it was fun. It was just like getting down and getting back up. Getting back up was the most challenging part. And I really shouldn't feel old at all. I mean, I shouldn't. Yeah, you're getting closer. Gotta be in the end as well. When that's done, we can officially say this hat has been completed. Then it gets into my pool. I need to take some photos. And I gotta throw it on the website. Together with the other hats I have. I have like 4 of these now. I have the mauve colored one. I have the yellow tones, light yellow tones. We have the black and gray. And now we have this. And I've been so bad at not getting that done. And the reality is I do have plenty of time to just do it. I just need time to, well, I just need to take the photos. Maybe that is a to-do list for tomorrow, because I do need to take them when the night light is nice outside. And reality is that right now is good, but it's gonna be a little bit less nice tonight. Need to get some measurements and informations. But yeah, I think we're looking good. And I've been really good when I've done these because I've crocheted the ends in while I was doing the single crochets of the previous rows. So there is obviously extra there, here and there for those. And that I think has definitely saved me some on the weaving in ends account, because I don't know, but weaving in ends, I don't think it is the favorite hobby of any of us. It is a thing that has to get done. I mean, if I can do something that causes me not to have to do it, then why wouldn't I? So I crocheted over the ends to weave them in. Look, we only have a few more stitches to go, and then I need to find my scissors. And then I have one more slip stitch to go. And of course, I need my darning needle and my scissor. So what do we need here? We need to have an end that is long enough for us to weave it in. We have, this is what I have left of the dark color. We started with a full skein, and I have a bit more maybe than a half skein left. You can see how easy the label goes on top. This is how much I got left of the light of them. And I started with 2 full of these, and that's gone too. And then I have like a bit less than half left maybe. So yeah, I do have some leftovers. They go into my yarn scrap stash. I can probably make something with them. I don't know. Could probably make golden jellyfish. I might just have enough to create some of it. But I'm not sure. I also have lots of other mini type amigurumi style, and some of them could maybe use brown yarns. And a part of me really want to get started on that project. That project as in the the mini amigurumi bit, because I have a few of those books. I haven't really gotten started on those patterns. That is really what I should do. And depending on the size that they turn out, they could maybe turn into some gorgeous like back charms or something like that. I think that could be a great idea. Always open for suggestions. Oh, we need to get in there by the looks of it. Well, why did I do it like that? On the other hand, it does look, I would say, seemingly closed, but I could do it better. So what I should do is go up there and go in here. That is better for the... Then we gotta weave in this end. Did you see Kelsey's last video that ETBD book might be a great for your store? That could be an idea, yeah, definitely. I mean, but I do have definitely some other like mini amigurumi things on our lists, which I want to do. And we also got the bat. I'm just not sure how well the bat, because it's going to be in a black yarn. That is not going to be very stream friendly, is it? I mean, unless, of course, you're more here from my chittle chattel, general jabber along, and yarn conversation than the actual act of me crocheting, then I guess it doesn't matter what color I'm working in. But I do want to get started on the bat. I also wanted to make one of the, I made the jellyfish in the spring, and I kind of want to do that in a chenille yarn. So I made it in a cotton, and I kind of want to see how it would turn out if I made it in a chenille yarn. Cheers, by the way. Don't forget to hydrate. Susan says, Rev, have you tried any amigurumi? And Rev says, in all honesty, I am mostly crocheting and listening in. Oh, yeah, that's not that reply. In all honesty, I'm mostly crocheting and listening and occasionally glancing on the screen unless you're showing something. Fair enough. Yeah, I guess that's most of us when we're in a live, right? Unless it's something that takes active watching, then too much counting. As they say, counting is for cowards. I don't mind doing it like once in a while, but I mean, I don't think I could only do Ami. Like, I really enjoyed those unicorns that I made, and I want to make unicorns again. And I want to really make like with rainbow mane and tail. I'm just still needing to find the yarn that I'm gonna use for that. I have an idea. I mean, the new Drops Magic could actually maybe provide colors for that, but I was thinking more of a pastel one, and then I might have to look at the Hobby Friends line. That is the question, right? Let's see, cotton. This could maybe work. This could maybe work. I mean, to get the rainbow color palette from here, because these are a bit more bright than some of the other drops yarn in this weight category, because this is a sport weight, and I will need sport weight yarn for the mane and tail. Unless I go for a variegated yarn that automatically includes them all. But I kind of wanted to make some with each of them, but I'm not sure if it's as realistic as I'm putting my mind into. But it's not bad color choices, right? Also looked at, that would be, we'll have to pop over to Hobby, because they had some of their yarn packages. Here we will have to need the 8-4, and this is kind of rainbow color, but this too, I'm not going to pay that much amount of money, but I could pick out the colors in it and get the loose ones. Like this is full rainbow, right? But at the same time, I really like how this color palette turns out. So it can help inspire you, I guess. I wonder if they have more. It's shipped to, so it's gonna be an expensive choice if that's what you do. Ooh, Christmas yarns are out, friends. I'm just gonna quickly have a look here, but these are actually quite nice setup too. But what I wanted to say is that the Christmas yarns are out, which means we need to find Christmas. This is the Christmas yarns of this year's hobby collection. They have lots of sock yarns for Christmas, including the glitter yarns. They were also there last year, I believe. They all named after the reindeers. So we have Rudolph, Blitzen, Comet, and Donner. Then they have the limited edition. They're all limited edition. Jolly Sock Wool. And I have to say, I really like the Winter Wonderland here. It would actually really much match my my current shooting kit. Generally a nice one. But yeah, we have here the classic Christmas tree. I like it because it's greens. This would be just up the alley of Lisa. Gingerbread, Festive Christmas, Winter Wonderland, and Starry Night. Then if we pop back, we have the other sock wool, Dancer, Prancer, and Donner. They're the same as the other ones, just no glitter. Then we have the Honey Bunny Glitter Edition, so white, red, and green in glitter colors. And this kind of makes me want to make, I want to crochet a Christmas, like a Santa hat. So a part of me is debating, depending on if this yarn is still there, and if this Honey Bunny glitter is still there when it goes on sale, if I should get it for that purpose only. But that's a pending thing. We have the Universe Christmas. I've done the Christmas Comet before, and I did a nice shawl, the Acorn shawl. Yep, definitely a nice piece of yarn to work with. It's a bit thin though. This is very thin. This is definitely a one weight yarn. Starry Night and Star Twinkle. I do like Christmas Comet the best because it just speaks more Christmas to me. Of course, we have the Cotton Prince edition here, and different color combinations. You have them in blue as well. It doesn't really say the names of them in here. It just gives a color number. Whites and greens and your reds. Here it includes a brown, and then the classic. I really like all those variegated blues. They're gorgeous. Then we pop down here to the Sultan Christmas limited edition. The classic red, white, red, greens. White, orange, red. Again, we have some white. I think these two are rather close, but not completely, because it's not white, this one in the center. It is like a skin color tone, where this one is white, so this one has more white in it, but it also seems dark on the outer edge. Maybe it's the same. And then we have the Snowflake, which is probably the one that speaks most to me with the Christmas spirit, those two. I'm not too keen on those reds. We have the color pack we just spoke about. We have the Candy Cake Christmas Limited Edition. Basic Christmas, Candy Cane, Gingerbread, and Winter Wonderland. Variegated yarns, but they do have pretty straight color changes, like you're not in doubt when the colors changed. Tea Time Limited Edition. This I wanted to get some last year, and they of course were sold out when they got on sale. I mean, this green is freaking gorgeous. This green, sure, I could do any day. But I also like the Winter Wonderland blues. But the green here, my friends, I'm sold. I mean, I could be a very happy woman with this yarn. I really like this green. So you have Christmas Elf, you have a Gingerbread, Christmas Tree, and Winter Wonderland. But again, the only way to get some sort of decent discount here is like if you buy, in this case, more than 7. I have no idea what I should use that many for. And therefore, in this case, I will only get it if they're on sale. Diamond Dust, it is like, or what is it called again? It's special yarns, right? Because they are, it's frizzly. Be nice for a cowl or something like that. It is, yeah, special texture. Forgot the name of this type of yarn. Goodness gracious. You know what I mean. Seven will make a decent sweater with enough over for a scarf and a hat. True. We also have them in gold, so with some speckles here. So they have like a gold shimmer through them. Then you have the mistletoe, which is like a plush yarn, polyester yarn. Eyelash yarn, that was the word I was looking for just before. And then you have the classic limited edition. So no shimmering, and honestly, I really like this no shimmering. I could be tempted to redo this shawl. Give me 3 new cakes, and I'll crochet the shawl again. Nah, I probably shouldn't. I mean, I have it, so it's fine. But yeah, that was the Christmas yarns of Hubby this year. Cool. This was what I meant with the eyelash yarn. But I was wondering if they do have more cotton packs, but yeah. Here you would have a pastel rainbow. But I mean, I'm not gonna pay 39 euros to get 10 skeins of this yarn. What one could do, of course, is I could go down and see if they would list. Yeah, they do list the colors, which is in the color packs. So I could maybe go and get the individual yarns. But would I really want to need to get baby cotton to make an amigurumi? That sounds a bit like excessive. So I'm probably just gonna look at options when I get there, when it's time. This yarn would make amazing unicorn manes. Yarnspirations. Yeah, but it's quite thick, Rev. It's quite thick, that's my problem. I need some thin yarns, very thin yarns. And I want it like rainbow. I know what I want. That's probably my challenge. I know what I want. I'll get it at some stage. Frosting. There's a few nice ones in between. But no matter what, for me, everything will be out, not available in the rest of the world. So even if I would want to get it, I can't get it. Oh. What I should do, by the way, is I could try to do like that. And then pop it away here, because I finished weaving in ends. Let's see if I can fit the hat. I mean, it's finished. Oh, so this looks like start and end. Oh, it's a little bit tight for me actually, but it does fit. But it is definitely a tighter fit. Yeah. This is how we're looking. Are we approved? But as I said, this is a bit of a tighter fit for me, so that is that's not for me, I guess. The yellow one fits me better, which actually coincidentally I had picked up, so it's right here, and it's the exact same yarn, but I have a feeling, as I mentioned, that the yellow fits much nicer. It does. So somehow I crocheted this a bit tighter than I did this. Not sure how. But I do like how it turned out in the end. It's just not a big hat fit. It's for a smaller hat, medium-sized hat, not for large. Ta-ta. Thank you. Yeah, I think it looks great. It's just unfortunately a little bit too tight for my head. So, but I think the colors are nice. So one more hat done and dusted. It looks almost the same when I come. No, it doesn't. Oh no, it's because it's not completely folded. They look very similar size-wise, the yellow and the brown, but they aren't. They aren't. So it just about fits, but it's not super important because it was most of the time just planned to be sold. Hat for people with a less layer. Follicle challenged. yeah, or for that matter, for people who's undergoing cancer treatment. I made the hat last year for my mom, right? And that worked out great. And this cotton is quite soft for cotton, so it is quite friendly as for hats, especially if you don't have hair or have very little. It could also work for people with there is this disease or illness where you lose all your hair and it won't come back. It's called I don't remember at the top of my mind, but I know there's a disease like that. So rest of the yarn goes into the back, and I have another bag with yarns, and I crochet hooks. Ta-ta. And I did not yet read up on what I exactly have to do, but we got to the point where we're gonna get to use the chunky yarn, which means that we need to find 7mm hook. So I found my prim set with hooks from 7, 8, 9, 10, and 12. Ta-ta. Of course, that is what we will need. What I need to do now is I need to find the pattern. Can pop over there together if you want. So this is of course what I'm making. I finished sewing together the two front panels with the back panel. It is, as what I mentioned, on the slimmer end for me, which is a shame. I need a crochet size 7mm for the borders. It's also what the yarn calls for, so that's perfect. So I should get the 7mm out of my box. We move down here. Crochet information, back piece, left front piece, right front piece mirrored. Assembly: sew shoulder seam edge to edge with neat stitches. Sew seams in the same way. Yeah, done. So that I've done off camera. Then it says a border round armhole, begin mid under arm, crochet with crochet hook 7mm, and well, it's a snow yarn, but in this case it's a chunky yarn. One single crochet, chain one, skip approximately 2 centimeters, single crochet in the next stitch, repeat from until the end. So it is with a chain in between. I finished with a slip stitch in the beginning of the round. How long is 2 centimeters? Well, it's 2 centimeters long, but I mean, that is a fair bit actually. It's just around when, a little bit before when the crochet hook finished the incline. It's inclined hooks, these prim hooks. And then with a border around the opening, begin mid back, crochet a long left front piece, a long bottom edge, an upright front piece with crochet hook, blah blah blah, as following. One single crochet, skip, chain one, skip approximately 2 centimeters, chain one in the next, repeat, and finish with slip stitch. Round 2. Oh, it does want a second round, but only not around the arms. Around the armholes, it's only 1, but it's thicker there. Oh, it might get me some length then. That would be so nice if that happens. Chain 4, 1 double crochet in the first chain loop from previous row, chain 1, 1 double crochet in the same loop, chain 1, 1 double crochet in the next loop, repeat and finish. And then of course I need to sew on buttons, but the buttons we don't have, so we can't do that. But we could finish maybe if we are good with this yarn, and that would be so nice if we do. This is a colorway 32 from Hobby. And I'm maybe slightly concerned if I don't have enough yarn, can I get new yarn? It's an acrylic, it is the chunky. I think it's even on sale right now, isn't it? It is. So actually, that would be a good thing to do now. Yeah, because, oh no, it's a petroleum green that we're using. So I can get this yarn if I run out, just not maybe the same dye lot. But that is possible. Okay, dual camera down here. Look, you should think that Prim knew that I was going to choose these colors because the hook matches. This is my 7mm hook. Says 7 in very small indented down there. Because I don't like holding them with the metal hooks I have in this size. So I prefer this one when we get up in these sizes. So, can we remotely have a chance of doing a center pull on this yarn? It looks like. Oh, that's from the outer end. Okay, so we have it here. Ah, perfect. Perfect. And it's definitely thicker than the yarn I crocheted the main bits in. Just to give you a nice thread comparison. This is the difference, basically. It's double the thickness. This is what I got left from the original skeins of the vest. So what I did do was I sew both tops. So this is the top of the shoulders. I used the mattress stitch and I sew across on both sides to do the mattress stitch. And then I also did something along the lines of a mattress stitch in the side on both sides. So that's where we are at. But I can tell you that I am missing a little bit of yarn. Or not yarn. I could have used a few more centimeters around. So that's about 2 centimeters. So I'm gonna see if how that looks like stitch wise. That's approximately once every stitch. Like if I skip between the stitches or if I try to work into those. I do have the single crochets. Can I fit in here? I could. Because that's approximately 2 centimeters. Wrong, because I should work this way around, because I need to ensure, of course, whatever I do, that it looks nice on the right part. Good. What did I have to do? I had to armhole, begin mid underarm. Done. That's basically under the oxals. Crochet with crochet, yes. 1 single crochet. Well, what I probably may need to do, let's see. Yeah, I could, because that's kind of semi-started here. So we could do like this. That will be the single crochet. Then we would need to chain 1, done. And then it basically says skipped 2 centimeters. So this would be then 1, that would be 2. Yeah, that basically fits into the single crochet bits of the previous. So that would be the edge basically. Chain 1, skip up to the next. Chain 1. And skip up to the next. So that's basically how the armpit's gonna be looking. And looking at this, well, it does seem that I have more than enough yarn. I mean, it's not like, I'm surprised I need to do the chains, and it's not just single crochets all the way across. But as said, we follow the process as laid out in the pattern. So that's basically the edge. We'll have lots of small airy spaces, and yet not at all. Interesting. I'm definitely curious on the fit after having added this, even if it's just one arm. So what I think I'll do, once we're all the way around, is that I will have to, as a bare minimum, and what I actually would want to do here, because that is technically the same bit. Maybe it's, no, but it's first up there. Okay, one more stitch. I would actually want to, just for one stitch, not follow this pattern, because here where it's sewn together, because that kind of makes me follow the same pattern through. I do need to be mindful here. Then I know we do have 2 single crochets after one another, but it's in the spirit of using those single crochet rows, because we did treble crochets and single crochets, and so far it matches with that for every single crochet row, that's approximately 2 centimeters in between, so I can work into those when I do the single crochets. But here on top, when they're sewn together, it's slightly bit different, and therefore I also did that bit slight bit different, but I think it works. when we are all the way down, we can put a stitch marker in, and then we are gonna try it on just to see how this etching looks. I have a feeling I'll have so much yarn left. I mean, I didn't even use all the yarn bath I pulled out when I did the center pull for this bit, or maybe it did just about. So that's pretty much it. I just need a stitch marker to help me keep track. I don't want to cut the yarn just yet. I mean, this is for the armpit. So far it looks good. That's top of it. Okay, so we should purple like this, and I guess I should attempt taking it on. It's not too bad, and I do have space under here. Could I have used one more row height-wise? Yes. Reality was I wasn't sure if I had the space, and I think I actually did add one row. I wasn't sure if I had enough yarn. And this definitely has inspired me to make different design. But I have ideas. I mean, I definitely have ideas. But it fits. It fits. That bit fits. That bit fits. So I can cut yarn and weave in ends. Ooh. That's nice. And kind of weird. This is a quick thing so far. I mean, I think when I need to get all the way around in the big piece, that's not just the armpits, that's going to take me quite a bit longer. I did start both of them. The top and the bottom have an extra single crochet stitch. It feels more logic that way. Oh, actually, I need to pull the yarn and then weave in ends. Pull through, weave in ends. So where is it? I need to get through these pieces. It's definitely a chunky yarn. I mean, I'm also using my thickest darning needle. Or largest, probably is more correct. Then we had another end down here. Also need to get in. The only downside is, of course, that for this, I still need to make buttons. The real question is, can we consider it finished with or without the buttons? Because, I mean, right now I can't. I'm likely not able to fit it. It is just a tiny smidge too small for me. And henceforth, would it make sense then, practically speaking, for me to be worrying about the yarns, the yarns, the buttons? Or can I just, I could just make those buttons when I have time, like September or something. Definitely having quite a busy period coming up in life. Buttons are an optional extra flourish. Yeah, I finished the crochet bit of it. I think that can be pretty official, right? Rev says, oh, say it's done when the crocheting is done. Then it's almost done. I mean, 3 rows to go. 1 arm done. Both of them would probably need to start under the armpits. Begin mid underarm, yeah. It's not like you can really see it there. I think I am on a pretty good pace to finish this blanket by tomorrow, and I have 28 rows of decreases. 1 cluster per row decrease, and I'm finished. Yay for being soon finished. So yeah, we're basically just catching all the single crochet rows. It also makes it uniform on both sides. Oh, I need more yarn. We used up the yarn bath. And I do a loose chain because then I know it will stretch far enough to reach the single crochet row where I then work in a single crochet. I'd like to make this one similar concept, at least in a merino yarn. I think that could be nice. What you would probably have to like for the edge, if you want to make it like color contrasting, you would probably need to how can I say that? Double stranded, unless you would do it differently, which is also possible. I mean, oof, I have ideas. I'm inspired. But I was also inspired to do some knitting today. I didn't knit, but I was inspired for something I wanted to do knitting. That's correct. That is where I said I wanted to do the extra single crochet because I did on the other side too. And then we'll do the loose chain. What I probably should do is to put our door on the hinge because it's noisy. And I didn't do that earlier today. And that means that the wind picked up. Wind is a good thing. That means that we can maybe get the house cooled down a bit here indoor. And as Nightbird says, if you're hanging out here, even if you're just hanging out and not chatting, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Do turn your notifications on so you get notified whenever I go live. Because we like people hanging out here. Of course, it's much more fun when people also have a chance to say a few words, even if it's just a simple hello. So we finished the summer hat already, and now we are working towards the finish line of this vest, and it is definitely chunky yarn that I'm working with. I mean, I am not used to, yeah, I had chained one. I'm not used to working with a 7mm needle or hook. Thereby said, I do not complain. It goes pretty swift. So if that went right, I should have the same nice sleeve on this side. The only difference is you see here the back side instead of the front panel, but that's the only way one can work down and have the same look. That looks good, which means we can cut yarn, weave an end, 2 rows to go. Definitely have enough yarn for that. What am I going to use this spare yarn for, I wonder? Amigurumi? I don't know if there is anything in this color and this thickness that would make remotely sense of making. So what's for dinner? Yeah. Well, we kind of know what's for dinner at your end, I guess. It's your chicken tandoori. Usually that's on Wednesdays, if I'm not wrong. No, not tandoori. Chicken, whatever. And here, it's also chicken. I'm gonna peel some potatoes and boil them. Gonna make some veggies to go with it. And then we have some drumsticks, chicken drumsticks, like chicken feet. Without it being chicken feet, top part of it. I think it's called drumsticks. What are you telling me? Not doing the teriyaki chicken tonight, changing things up. Chicken stir fry with saffron rice sounds good too, by the way. That sounds good too, my friend. But yeah, the short version is that chicken drumsticks is what we're getting. It's okay. We have enough lunch meat for sandwich for her. Yeah, that's most important, I guess. That everything still fits into the scheduled plan. Thursday I eat at my in-laws, so I never need to worry about food on Thursdays. Not always true. If she's at home, or for whatever reason we are not there, then may need to worry about food. But the general rule of thumb is we don't. Along with sharp cheddar, boar's head brand maple glazed honey coated turkey breast. Gee, that is a long bit of pronounced. Boar's head brand maple glazed honey coated turkey breast along with sharp cheddar. I'm not a cheese person, so I'll just skip the cheddar, please. Well, we are Americans, so we are legally obligated to add as much cheese as possible. I'm regularly being asked if I missed out on the Dutch integration course because I don't really fancy cheese much. Like, you can serve me a very neutral, non-tasteful cheese, such as a brie or a cream cheese. I'll eat that. But serve me any sorts of sliced cheese or cheese blocks or whatever. No, thank you. No, thank you. It's not too bad. I mean, that bit is okay. I'm just missing 10 centimeters on my stomach. I have to, or I have too much breast. Or no buttons. That might actually. I mean, let me just put back. You can see the belly of this, and I'll put it a little bit up. But I mean, you can see what I mean here with I'm a little bit short. It's mainly like if I really squeeze, I can do it. I will get a bit extra length because I am adding 2 more rows here. But actually, it's not too bad without buttons either. It's just like a vest. It is warm though. It's summer, not surprising. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna work on adding, because this whole bit gets outlined too. First, we do the similar outline as we did here on the sleeves, and then we'll do 1 more row. But it's too small. Yep, I know. Yeah, that's my point, Rev. If I don't add the buttons, maybe people won't think it's too small. So maybe I just don't need to make the buttons. Who would have thought that? Well, we will see once we are finished with the next bit. So it suggests to start on the back, center back, I think. Border around the opening. Begin mid back and crochet along left front piece. Well, technically you just need to kind of work the same direction as you've done with the rest, I guess. Crochet along. Did I just flip it? I did. I was like, why does it look different than what just did? And it's because I flipped this one around. I need to put you guys down a little bit more for when we start crocheting in a few. Good morning, Lisa. It's wonderful to hear from you, girl. I hope you had a safe travel to Mexico so far and that you have enjoyed your time there too. The thing is, I would just flip it front side back, because if I were to do how I just did, I would have to start back, center back. How many stitches did we do? Back piece. 74. No. 66. Oh my goodness. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 2, 4, 6, 8, 30. Now I'm just counting in 30 from each side. Let's start there. It's been wonderful. We are actually leaving for home today. Ooh, sweet travels, hope safe travels. I'll see you at your home Friday. Well, you'll see me here from your home Friday. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That would be the center stitch. Okay. Rev says less work and looks better. I call that a total win. It's definitely a win-win for all. Sure, if this is going to be the case. And I have to say, it had a really snug, nice fit on my t-shirt, right? And I really like how the pattern generally also fits. Like, you won't be able to see that, but I looked at the mirror, and after I had sewn the pieces together, I was like, okay, except for the fact that it's going to be too short around the stomach, it's good. Lisa, this was funny. Both Susan and I won Yuan's monthly yarn giveaway. I was so excited for her to win when my name came up. It took me a moment to react. I think it's definitely cool, to be honest. Okay, so we need to start from center back. I need to pull some yarn. Along bottom edge, along yeah, it doesn't technically. When I then turn, I'm crocheting right around, whatever. I'm doing it so it matches my arm opening. I think it just, that's the question, right? That how I worked these sides, that's going to be matching. If it worked left or right around, doesn't matter, as long as it matches what I've done on the arm gaps. Good. 1 round, single crochet, chain 1, skip approximately 2 centimeters. So that's kind of the same deal. Then the question is, how many stitches goes on 2 centimeters? 2, 3, 2.5, 3. Are we gonna do 2? Every 2, how much is that? Every 2 is also, it's just cutting it. It's a bit less than 2. Yeah, we're gonna do every 2. Because that's gonna be nice. chain one. So it's basically one single crochet, chain one, skip the centimeters, and then single crochet in the next set, repeat on all the way around, and then we are double crocheting a lot. But that's first the following round, so we don't need to worry about that now. So this was the center gap. For some reason I was a stitch short or had a stitch extra or something like that. I think I had a stitch extra maybe. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Not anymore. So to get started, I will do it in the following stitch, and I'll do that as well. That should match with me needing to make one here. Goodie. Chain one. Skip stitch. Chain one. He had, I think, 70 pounds of yarn that he split into 6 packages, so it's a mystery until we get it. I will take a yarn haul photo when it arrives. It sounds awesome. Isn't this like the second time you win from him, or did you purchase the vintage yarn you got from him? Yep, lots of yarn. Sorry for the quick quabbing. Gotta run for breakfast date. Well, enjoy your breakfast. Safe travels home, Lisa. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Friday if you have time, unless you're like too busy recovering from travels. So I could probably have done it I could maybe have stretched it and done it every third, but it's all right. It gives me a little bit room. The real question is, of course, if I'll manage to get all this done in the next hour. That I am not sure of, but we are gonna get darn close. I mean, I have a feeling that this row takes a bit longer than the next row, because here I need to make sure I place my stitches correct, and the next row I work into the spaces amongst things. Friday, I will mostly not be here for long. My dog has been coughing for the last few days. We got her vet visit, of course, as soon as we scheduled the appointment. She has not coughed since, but better safe than sorry with a senior. Yeah, definitely, sure. and sounds like the classic event. Let's see, what I could do here, of course, is I could drag it and squeeze in two, maybe, if that would work. Because on the other side we also have a then we would and skip. Oh, yeah, that's possible too, right? She might have had something small caught in her throat, but it could be a number of things. Yeah, and it's not like the dog speaks to you, right? So, yeah. It doesn't say how to do the corners. We'll figure that out as we go. As long as I do the same all the way across the board, it should be simple enough. That's the theory. I actually think it's much more difficult to be a veterinarian than it is to be a real doctor, because animal doesn't say, ouch, it hurts right there, and that's what I feel. It was 3 days where she would have a hacking cough that was worrying enough for her to get looked at. I tried to check her throat, but she did not want to cooperate with that. No, of course. She's like, what are you doing, mate? This is not comfortable. Maybe, though, it's worth training her to do, of letting you to do certain things, like after the vet visit. I mean, for an easier look in the future. Your girl, get a treat if you do this. Unless she is too stubborn, of course. I'm probably not the right person to speak. I mean, I had animals when I was younger, but I haven't really had any for a long time. And the last I had were fishes. I had an aquarium, which we again put away in, I don't know, did I get it in 13 and we put it away in 15 or 16? It's a while ago. Okay, so the challenge I have here is we have a corner and I need to enter in there. And here's a question is, if I just, maybe because it's a stitch before, then I do the corner stitch here. And then we'll do another corner stitch. Oh, not a double crochet, but another corner stitch. So like 2 chains in the corner. What I do need to remember soon is that on the other side, I will then need to work in 3 on the other corner on the other side. So I need to put myself a reminder. Stitch markers. Which seems a bit crazy, I know, but good. They tell me I need to add extra crochet stitches. Because now we are on the side bit and we are gonna go all the way up the side. And that was the easy part. That's what we did at the sleeves. I mean, that is the we do in every single crochet row from the previous row. And that worked pretty fine. Then we get up here, we get back into the regular ones. And I will probably, I just should count across to see what's a realistic feet. But I mean, it makes sense to have the same amount of stitches instead of just being approximately every 2 centimeters, and you'll see whatever you'll end up with. Like, that's top of the stitch, where this is the actual stitch. So that's the one I need. Chain. 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 Yes. It is easy in that sense. At least so far. This is the decrease bit. I like that saying, actually. Better safe than froggy. She's 14 years old, so it's unlikely any training will take place at this point. Probably. That's probably where you say you can't teach an old circus horse new tricks. And yeah, reminder stitch markers. I'm a big fan too. So far, it's been working well, I think. I mean, I'd rather use a stitch marker than being sure that I will make it without issues. I mean, I need stitch markers for all the counting with amigurumi. And depending on what I make, it's like 1,000 stitch markers in the project. For some things, just general counting works. Okay, so I need to pay attention when we get up here. We are getting closer. This bit goes a little bit quicker. I think there's a little bit longer here between the stitches than it was on the actual back piece. So what I did, this is on the inside. What I did on the other one was that around the collection, I did 2 single crochets here in the single crochet stitches of the other side. So I like to kind of keep that rhythm flowing. So that will be up here. And on the other side, ooh, that's maybe a little bit too tight. Yeah, it was doable. It needed a little bit of convincing, but so 2 single crochets, chain, and then we are back to needing to do a single crochet here. And now we are going across. This is the single crochet piece. So now I need what I need to do is I need to count to see if I need to make extra stitches. So I need to single crochet there, and then what have in between? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's perfect. There's an even amount. So whatever I'm doing, it's gonna match up. I love this. I mean, you should think that I had thought about it. Because I do believe I made that piece a bit wider. It felt like it was needed. Okay, this is the connection point. So first we need the one on the one side, and then we need another single crochet on the other side. Which is here. A little bit of careful looking. Then I need more yarn. It is starting to flatten out a bit, but I mean, I'll have plenty of yarn left. Is this the moment where you need more yarn to make something different. Yeah. I mean, there is this ideal world of being able to finish up all projects and have no yarn left. Or maybe this is where one needs to attempt knit one of those scrap projects. I saw and I was super inspired. It was a video on Instagram. And she basically just knotted all those yarns together and then afterwards held them double and then knitted scrap projects from that, which I think is such a cool idea. It just kind of, you need to make sure you kind of have the same materials of yarns, or you need to make a statement that this item may contain wool. Maybe I could do that one up there. Yeah. Have to try. But I've had similar thoughts for hats, right? Like knitting hats up with scraps. And I do have some scraps laying around here and there. So I just like the idea of it being similar thickness. So it's not like, surprise, this time or that time it's thicker. So I need to get into that stitch, but that is tiny. I'll take the space. Da, 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 da. And I mean, I'll have scrap yarns left after this. Definitely. Look, we are soon getting to the reminder corner. Didn't that sound fancy? You know, I can always make buttons later on if I feel it needs it. But I mean, if it sits great without, and it doesn't need to necessarily close. Some of it is a perfect fit. Okay, so I need 3 stitches, 2 in the corner, and then 1 in that stitch just around. So let's start by doing the 2 corner stitches. And the following. And this should then leave me to get all the way back without too much of an issue. What I need to do is when I get to the center here, I also, where I sew them on the side, I did one extra stitch in both to help with, it just makes it a bit nicer, I think. And soon we just have one round to go. My goodness. I'm actually starting to believe we may be able to do this. If we have no further distractions. If I don't get side looped by yarns. So I was doing grocery shopping yesterday and I came across a game which I was like, oh, that sounds like a cool game. I'll buy that and bring it with me home. It was like some sort of escape room game. And then when I got home, I didn't unpack it yet. It's still in the seal. Then I noticed the small letters on the back which said, this game can only be played once. And I'm like, okay. If it's a board game that can only be played once, or a small game that can only be played once, it feels like, no. I don't need this. So I am gonna bring it back later. So I'm gonna do the exercise again today, which means that after dinner I will take my bike and I will bike all the way to the store and I will ask for my money back for the game. Because, yeah, I mean, for 45 minutes of pleasure, 10 euros seems like a lot of money for a one play game. I thought it was a game that, you know, it would be random, so there would be options depending on how the cards were laid or something like that. Nope. So I thought now it's a bit pricey for what you're actually getting. Oh, don't forget to chain. Just finished skein 8 for the month. You mean August 8 already? Holy smokes. I assume you had some partially used skeins then. It sounds like crazy. I am on 1 for August. Unless we are gonna count these like half-used skeins soon. Which feels wrong if it's not more than. I am gonna remove it from the rubbery bit because else I think I have a full skein, and I'm not gonna try to calculate how much a half skein is. I'm just gonna be like, no, it's gonna go into my acrylic scrap pile of yarn, and then I'll just take it from there. I'm not gonna try a count for both. So I'm not gonna try to do that. It's just too much work for me. But I can first count it as a used skein once it's technically used. So I keep the label with them in the scrap pile. Because if I ever want to, like, you know, said, do scrappy things, I think it's still good to know what sort of yarn content is in the finished product. The cotton skeins were 97 yards each. So they both count a bit, but a skein is a skein. Yeah, that's true. That does help the pace. That's definitely true. Like this, technically, I mean, it's just 100 meters. It's 109 yards. This skein. 3.5 ounces to 109 yards. There are some benefits working with 7mm hook. It goes quicker. Especially compared to when I'm working with my 3mm hook. That takes forever to get through the yarn. And therefore, it's probably not fair to compare most of our consumptions with one another. I mean, mostly I do use thinner yarns than I'm currently using. But we also have some of those amigurumis I want to make, and that is definitely gonna up the hook size a bit for me. No, I did it correct in the beginning. So that may use some, but at the same time, it's not something where you just quickly crack out a lot. Like the scrunchies, the yarn I make scrunchies from they are not big skeins either, and that goes reasonably quick. You know, I can use a skein in like 2 hours if I really put my mind into it. 2.5 maybe. And that then gives you scrunchies. I was gonna have a look at my agenda as well, but I am gonna do that for Friday. So I give you Friday an overview of how next week. Blah, next week is going to be looking. Awesome. So we did a one here, so I should probably sort of slip stitch into that starting point here. Good. Although it feels like what I really should do, if anything, I should try to make a hidden join if doable. Sort of. Okay, let's see. What does it say that I need to do in the next round? Round 2, chain 4. And maybe that's not the ideal world either. I could, I guess. No. It feels like I am chain short, and then I get in here with a slip stitch. Yeah, that works. Okay. It says chain 4. That's where we're stacking the double crochets. 1 double crochet in the first chain loop from previous round, chain 1 double crochet in the same loop, chain 1 double crochet. Oh my goodness, I need to see this for myself. Finish with a chain and slip stitch in the third chain from the round. So it's basically a this is the stitch. So what I'm gonna do is I am gonna stack 2 single crochets, and then we are gonna chain 1, because that's what it is. It is a 3 chains for the double crochet plus chain 1, and then it says 1 double crochet in the first chain loop. It's technically just chain space, but okay. We'll do a double crochet, chain 1 double crochet in the same chain loop. So that's going to be like that, and then chain 1 double crochet in the next chain loop, etc. It sounds like we somehow are gaining stitches on this piece. No. And the first chain loop from the previous round, done. Chain 1, same loop. Yeah, chain 1 double crochet in the next loop. Chain 1. It is. Okay, we'll just let's see how that works up for a bit. And then, because I don't want to have it frizzly, which it will get like this, because we get extra chains. So what I would want to do, I would skip that chain in between, honestly speaking. Yep, I would. Because else you get, what is it called? You get, it will flare a bit. It doesn't look it like that on her, but it will get wavy. So I am, and maybe it's not going to be the case on this bit. But this is the same amount of stitches as I've used. So I think I'd rather do like that. And then we'll see if I need extra stitches on the side, because there's a bit longer between those. Like, what I mean is, here the distance between the single crochets is slightly a bit bigger than here. So maybe there I need the extra chain, but I don't feel I do here. Maybe I do where I have extra stitches. I mean, on the exact side, there is a place where I do an extra single crochet. I could add an extra chain there. That could work. That would be here, for example. which means that right now Stine is slightly deviating from the pattern. But it's not like a lot. I had to do a bit of color control. This yarn alternates bright colors and black yarn, well, as the old skein ended in purple. And the last skein I had full length of color both ends, so just trimmed the black. Lost maybe 8 to 10 inches of yarn. But then yeah, but the breaks, yeah. Honestly, you know, yarn scraps can be used for all sorts of things. I just recently, when I got home from my stay in Denmark, used a yarn scrap to tie up my tomato plant. It had the perfect length of what I needed. So of course I have some super short yarn scraps in a little box as well, and that goes in my garden if I need to have a little yarn scrap to keep track on a plant. But generally not needed. We're almost there, but not completely. I do think I will not be fully finished though. Oh, the question is if I want to or don't want to for next live. Like, should we finish it together, fit it together on the next live? Or I keep all my ends and whatnots for the rare amigurumi I make. Yeah, I have yarn scraps from all my ends I've woven in. I mean, this goes into that, but these are too short to use usefully in the garden. But I do sometimes have a single scrap that's a little bit longer. Like, they're more like the length of a crochet hook. And I have a few of those scraps that I keep apart for tying up a tomato plant, which I haven't done. Like, it's actually been a few years since I did tomatoes last time, but I do have a few, and there are tomatoes on them. They are green tomatoes right now, which for me is a big thing. So this is, there shouldn't be, and there isn't, technically speaking, one here, or should I add one? No, because that is the next space. This actually does look a bit funky. Not sure what happened. But there isn't a chain there. But I could add a chain for that slight tiny piece to continue over here, I guess. And let's just see how that looks in a few. That's a bit of a gap, isn't it? I could also just, now when we are off patterning and all, give it a double crochet. That looks better. So it's just basically the side that goes down with a double crochet instead of these V stitches that I'm making. And the V stitches are already as is curling a bit, but that would have been much more if I had a chain between these V stitches. That's crazy. You love some green fried tomatoes? I never tried green tomatoes. But if I still have tomatoes on the plant when it starts getting to the night frost here, I'll pluck them and I'll let them ripen indoor. Coat them in cornmeal and shallow fry them in the pan. If I tried to grow tomatoes here, I would just be feeding the squirrels. The little fussy meanances steal everything. Wow, that's surprising though. I would never have thought squirrels to eat tomatoes. I would not have thought that. But yeah, end conclusion is we are definitely not going to finish today. Well, I could finish today, but are we finishing this one together? Or yeah, maybe I'll finish it myself later. I'll see. Need to make a decision on that. And I need to find projects for Friday. Well, we have the shawls. I actually have two. I definitely need to start look at one of them. Not that I'm really in the mood, but I should. What I also should is I should look at my safety eyes because I want to make that bat. And I can still in like September if I want to, but I mean, I can't wait too long with it either. Green tomatoes have a very citrusy taste to them. Ooh. They're more acidic than sweet, so it works well fried. Yeah, I could imagine that they aren't sweet at least. They haven't had the sun to ripen and become sweet. Ah, it's a southern US thing. Okay. Well, we are gonna look at this shortly in the corner. But I don't want, I'm not a ruffle person. I'm not into ruffles, so I think I am happy that I removed a chain between these V clusters because I feel it's slightly ever so ruffling right now, which is okay. But I mean, I don't want extra ruffles. We're almost at the corner. Here I may need to do some mathing on stitches. So we have basically what I could do. Could work a V-stitch in the corner. And then continue with what I were doing. Maybe. So let's just see how it looks. I just need to do one more V-stitch. Then we're gonna insert a stitch marker. Get a look. So my point is, it is gonna, because I mean, so this is flat and I can't fully lay it flat. So it is slightly ruffled, but that's not too bad because it is on the waist side, which means I do get out a little bit. So I think it's still gonna follow nicely. Yeah. Just do simple dredge flour, then egg wash, and then cornmeal only, season salt and pepper. You can add cayenne pepper. No, thank you. I don't like heat. Let's just for funsies see how that bit will fit. Well, I should probably do it all. Jan, follow me, please. No, I twisted that. Ooh. That was better. I mean, it would have been twisted on my backside. Let's see, I need a better view. Look. Look, look, look. Oh, I could put this one up a little bit. That's not too bad. I mean, it will frizzle a little bit, but that's not too bad. Alternatively, if I don't want to do V-stitches, I could also just do double crochets and never stitch all the way around. Would that be a better option? Is what I'm thinking. I'm just gonna put you guys up here, and then I'm gonna get up and use you guys as a mirror. Because that's how it's gonna be. I'm just gonna pull a bit of yarn. That's how we're gonna be looking on the back, which isn't bad. It is a little. It does pop out a little. Of course, it's gonna help here. But would I rather want them, because I feel it does like kind of go out, if that makes sense, like that, instead of just laying into it. Choices. because if we like kind of just lay flat, it's okay. But I'm probably more into the double crochet stitch, because what I am doing is I'm slightly ever increasing it. Even though the fun thing is, if you really look at the pattern, it doesn't. Like, if we just quickly pop over here on the pattern, here we are. Look at the photo here. If you look at her down here, it's not like frizzly at all. At all. It's not. So I think it's, I don't know, it could be the yarn, or it could be my stitches, but it feels very, somehow it feels extra, yeah. And it's generally a quite simple design already as is. So maybe just going with the regular double crochets could work. I mean, we have that here, right, in the place where we, in between. That's okay. What I could also option for is to do double crochet V-stitch, double crochet V-stitch, like alternate. That sounds interesting. Anyhow, I think I may very well frock some of this and do it differently. And maybe we'll do it together on Friday. Maybe I'll do it on my own before Friday. That bit is undecided. But what I do know is it's 5 p.m., which means that I need to prep to cook dinner. And that means that I'm gonna frock this because it's a little bit too, it's not too straight. And I mean, with how they defined how I should do it, it really says round 2, chain 4, 1 double crochet in the first chain loop from previous round. Then it's chain 1, 1 double crochet in the same loop, chain 1, 1 double crochet in the next loop, chain 1, 1 double crochet in the same loop, chain 1, next loop, etc. So it is V stitches. Why I didn't write that? But it, yeah, and even the repeat has the chain between. I removed that. So I already removed it, but I already removed like a quarter of the stitches. Anyhow, I'm definitely gonna have to do it differently. Rev says, I'm not crazy about the ruffle. Personally, I would just do a double crochet in every stitch. I think the ruffling makes it look like you made an error. I'm not keen on the ruffling either. It doesn't ruffle much, but just ever so lightly, right? So yeah, it shouldn't ruffle either based on the photo. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to redo that, but that's all right. That's for another hot moment, not for right now. We are at 5 p.m. So I'm going to say thank you so much for watching today. I had a great and wonderful time in your company. I hope you also had a great time. If you're rewatching this live and have gotten to this point, thank you so much for your support. It is so very much appreciated. Rev says it's just enough that it looks wrong. And yeah, have a fantastic evening. Thank you. You too. Have a fantastic day. Everybody have a fantastic day and happy crafting until I see you either in another video or in the next live. And I'll be back on Friday at 2 p.m. Central European Time, which is about 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, 6 a.m. Mountain, 5 a.m. if you're very early bird, Pacific. And obviously, it's the other times on the other way if we are all the way to the Australias. Take care and happy crafting. Love you all. Bye.